Alright, so hi. Welcome to Venture Bros, the Venture Brothers podcast. With me, your host always, Bryan Dressel. With me, as always, is Graham, the Banana Mason.
Hi, I'm waving. You can see that, right?
Just like a banana.
We're on video. We're on video, right?
Yep, we are on video. Can't you see? And we have Nick, the Apple Friedemann.
Go ahead and peel me, Bryan. I'm ready.
Season 3 is here.
Too much? Too much?
No.
I'm excited.
Out of the two of us, which one is more appealing?
Graham.
Amazing.
Graham is more appealing because of that. Season 3 nicknames. They're all going to be fruits, just so you know. I try to get more and more obscure fruits throughout the season. I want to start out nice and easy, apples and bananas.
Yeah.
And we're going to end somewhere at hairy man anus fruit. That's a joke for Graham alone if he remembers our college years. I'm going to take that as a yes.
Gross.
We're talking about kiwis?
Yeah. That's actually surprisingly close. Anyhow, so season 3. Who's excited?
I am.
I love season 3. I'm so excited to talk about it. Our first episode.
High definition.
Yes, we are in HD land. And as I said at the end of last week, HD and swear words and penises. We're here, guys.
Wahoo.
Yep. And if you've always wanted to see what Jonas Venture Sr.'s dick looks like, this is the season for you. And I'll tell you.
Oh, yeah.
It's wiggly. But we'll get there
is.
organically later. Because we have to start with Shadowman 9 in the Cradle of Destiny. Famously, after a cliffhanger 2 years ago, or 1 week ago if you're with us, we have heard that Monarch, I'm... What? Huh. And it turns out Monarch, I'm... is a question nobody really intended to answer.
No one's going to remember this, right?
Right?
From season 2.
When you end on cliffhangers, nobody cares when you come back. Right?
No. We don't have fanboys or anything about this show, right?
People
no one's
who
really
are
going to care.
Going over every frame with a fine-tooth comb to try to make sure that they know more than their friends.
They're just going to overlook this moment. Like, no one's ever going to create, like, a thing that's called a podcast and review every episode of our show.
Yeah, no one would be that crazy.
No, that's not gonna. Nah, it's not gonna happen.
Hey, season 3's opener. Let's do quick hot takes around the table, and then we'll say what happens in it if we can. Do you guys like it?
Yeah.
I do. I really do. Again, as we're kind of going into it, it's like I would like to have addressed more of the thing that we're talking about and more of a standard Venture Brothers episode as opposed to this kind of weird recap past episode. But I really, really do like this episode.
I think I'm 100% where you are. Like, I totally agree. Like, it's a weird episode, but I love the story so much that I can forgive everything that doesn't quite click for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did it last week. Who wants to do the summary? And by I did it last week, I mean Brok, our wonderful note taker, did it last week. Somebody else want to read Brok's lovely breakdown of this episode?
Sure.
Okay.
Ha!
It's like just waiting.
Nick's just like, silence for the win.
This is just too
I don't even
much.
have a camera unlike you, so you just have to stare at this helper picture.
Silence! So here we go. Brok, thank you. The Monarch and Dr. Girlfriend are interrogated by the Guild of Calamitous Intent, so basically pretty much immediately after what happened at the showdown, they got picked up. And then, yeah, so Dr. Girlfriend and Fate to Blim and the Monarch are all kind of going over what happened in their past. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. There's more detail there, but we'll cover it, I think, in the rest of it. So.
Yeah, it's It's a pretty simple episode to just kind of summarize. It's basically just a trial. Like, it's not the trial of the monarch.
Crucible.
Yeah, so, that sounds way cooler. Sorry. But that's basically the whole thing. Is it's just kind of like, hey, you want to see where these two came from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. And then you do have a framing, not necessarily framing, but you do have the backstory of everybody building the cocoon up with the Moppets and whatnot. And
Yeah. I mean, it's tough to even call that a B story. It's just like, meanwhile...
yeah, because, I mean...
Because they cover most of it in a montage, which is wonderful. I do love that montage.
That's fantastic. But I think that the major reason why that's there and why that's a thing and it's important is it sets up the Moppets, who are a major part of Season 3.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, they didn't get a single line until this season, right?
You're 100% correct.
Yeah, because we've never heard them talk. Like, they've always just kind of been there. They just kind of scamper away, like when Venture, or Rusty, sorry, barges into Dr. Girlfriend's dressing room as she's getting ready for the wedding, and he's like, "Will you zip me up? You kicked out my Moppets."
Exactly.
So when they show up, they're fucking horrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they are the scariest little fuckers, and I love them so much. And I've heard a lot of people don't really care for them that I've talked to. Like, I don't even think. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Nick. When this season first came out, I don't think you were a big fan of them.
Yeah, I think they grew on me over time. I think when they first came out, I was like, "What?" Like,
yeah, like they're grotesque creatures.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Terrifying.
It's weird. Like, I would say that most of the villains in this show are at least like somewhat charming in a weird way. Like, either because they're just useless or whatever. There's like no redeeming quality whatsoever about the Moppets.
No.
And
they just get really, really terrifying and really, really gross. Of like their relationship with Lady Au Pair and
they are not, they're not my favorite things, but in real life. But much like Pete White, it's like, but I love him in the show.
Yeah. But I think later on, I mean, some of their one-liners throughout the rest of the season, you're like, yeah, with a knife.
Yeah, fucking knife.
Yeah, subdue him with a knife.
I'm so excited to get to Buddy System. I love that episode. But for this one, the major thing with the Moppets in this episode that really caught me off guard and really kind of foreshadows where this season is going is this episode ends with 24 getting stabbed, not to death, but stabbed like crazy.
Yeah. First, I was like, oh, it's unfortunate for that henchman who dies. Wait, that's 24. Wait, why are we pulling out? Wait, hold. And that's the end of this episode.
Yeah, it's kind of a big glimpse into 24's real exciting future.
You mean the guy who sounds like Ray Romano?
Oh my god, the moment with 24 and 21 where they're supposed to go through like the motor pool or whatever it is of the cocoon, and they find the Monarch mobile and like, why weren't we driving on this thing? That thing's awesome. All we had was my crappy Nissan Stanza. Yeah, speaking of which, oh, my Stanza.
Oh my.
Doug's gonna kill me.
Who's Doug? It's my dad.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's his dad.
It's not even his stepdad, which would make sense. It's his dad.
His dad.
It's my dad.
Oh my god.
I mean, he does have a lot in this episode.
Yeah. Well, I think they both do. I think season 3 is where I mean, they might disagree with me, but I think that's where Hammer and Public really kind of went. No, these two are main characters. Like, they're not just the henchmen. Like, they were clearly like the main henchmen throughout all of season 2. They even got a few of their own side stories where they wanted to be Jetpack Boy and Jetpack Girl and all of that. But I think this is where they're actually like major players. Like, even in the opening credits, when they do like the 4 faces flying at the screen, 21, 24 are 2 of the 4 faces.
Yeah.
So even if they were... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, like, 24 gets a lot more screen time considering what happens later on in the season.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's fine throughout the whole season. Well,
I mean,
98% of it.
He's not gone forever, you know.
Yeah. But I think
Gone
beyond
but never
that's
forgotten.
really kind of it for that, I guess, quote unquote B story of them rebuilding the cocoon. Although I do like, it's one of those like wonderful moments of, all right, we destroyed the cocoon. Yep. Kind of doesn't feel like the Monarch without the cocoon. Nah, it doesn't. Let's rebuild the cocoon in the first episode. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I mean, it
and
worked.
I mean, yeah, and I think it's kind of like an endearing moment. And it's a nice introduction of the Moppets, because you're like, oh god, these guys are awful and terrible and creepy and gross and weird. And then by the end of the episode, you're like, oh wait, no, they were actually carrying out a form of, you know, the Guild of Calamitous Intent and everything, to like everybody's coming together to support this union of Dr. Girlfriend and the Monarch. And it's like, oh, it's kind of sweet of them. Oh, they're kind of cute in a weird way. And then obviously at the end of the episode where he's just stabbing 24 to death, but
not to death,
to
not death,
to subdued.
Do you think he got Gatorade in his wounds? We have to assume so, right?
Oh god.
I mean, yeah, but I mean that's probably why he's fine. Gatorade saved
Yeah,
him.
that's true. The electrolytes really did
Yeah.
a number on his body.
They just stitched him up.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever just drink water? You mean like out of the toilet?
Let's because that is everything in the framing story, right? The actual ventures aren't in this episode, right? I mean, Brok
No.
is, but Iron Than Brok.
No, and even Brok doesn't speak in the episode. It's, there's no venture, really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
he's referenced. Well, we see Rusty when he's leaving school and getting into a car, but yeah, he doesn't have a line. No.
Yeah, it's not modern day Rusty. That's a flashback.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so then let's move into the crucible, if you will.
This is a crucible.
Yes. First for the councilman, we soft mentioned last season, or last episode, last week, from last time, that we love the council. They're fucking hysterical.
They're incredible.
And I feel like
Well-
it's a joke that just keeps giving with them.
Yes.
Like the more they use them, the funnier they are.
Yes.
Like especially like with the I don't want to spoil jokes from later on, but when you find out they all definitely know who each other are, like it's supposed to be anonymous, but nah, they're all just in a hallway.
Yeah.
Like everything about them just gets funnier. The weird thing about this though is that I'm so used to later seasons of Venture Brothers at this time that it's weird to see the two-headed guy as two separate people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like hearing their voices come from different sides of the room is like, wait, what?
Yeah, exactly.
Like I'm so excited to get there and just hear the phrase "get the Billy bag" as many times as possible, but I'm just not quite there yet.
Not yet.
Nope.
Though, here's a weird thing. So you brought up something that I was like, I could have sworn that like one of the big things is that they're supposed to not know each other, and yet at the party, they're all standing
hanging out with
next
each
to
other. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All like clumped together.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Still silhouetted, which I
But,
think
yeah.
is my favorite part of the whole episode. It's like, okay, sure.
Well, maybe they were all just walking around silhouetted at all times.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Maybe
They
they're
could be
all
wearing
just-
masks and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they're not silhouetted. They're just wearing like an all black like suit.
Exactly.
Very form-fitting all the way to their hats.
Yep.
Yes. Which all have very distinct silhouettes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so that's what it is. We just cracked this. They're not in silhouette. They're in silhouette suits.
oh, perfect. I don't know why I questioned this.
Neither do I. I mean, let's be fair. That doesn't seem that out of the ordinary for the Venture Brothers.
Oh, not at all.
Like, I would totally buy it if they cut to them stepping out of their suits. Like, God, I hate wearing these things.
Exactly.
Like, I'd buy it.
Oh,
So
100%.
So I assume that's what it is now.
Yeah. No, they definitely get more and more hilarious and more ridiculous as time goes on. There's
And also in the episode, like they start out like they they start out with them trying to be a little not spooky, but kind of like a little intimidating. And then as it goes, they just get funnier and like more relaxed. And like one of them starts getting kind of sassy with like the roll the clip of the first night I made it with Dr. Girlfriend. And he's like, I don't need to see that. No, there's a good reason. Well, there better be.
That better be.
I also like that they split up the room. Like only half the councilmen deal with one, the other one with the other.
Yeah. Which I kind of like. Like, they did one of the things I really liked in this episode is, and this is, we had talked a little bit about the craftsmanship in the past 2 seasons, but I think this is where things start to really take off, where they do a really good job. This could be an episode that feels very muddled in a weird sort of way, where there's just like too much going on, but they do a good job of separating out the rooms with color, which is smart. Like, it's not like a genius sort of thing, but it's just a smart technical decision to make the story a little bit more readable. And then even in all the flashbacks, they do a good job of kind of showing you what the perspective of each person's supposed to be. You know, they don't make it too complicated in that way either.
Yeah, they do a really good job with it.
Yeah. Was that a wipe?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I got Adobe Premiere.
I thought it just added more to the flavor of the episode.
The next thing I want to talk about, and I feel like it's kind of where we'll finish up this episode, so we got to talk about the flashbacks. The backstory of the Monarch and Dr. Girlfriend.
Yes. And Shadowman 9.
Shadowman 9. Although he turns into the Monarch pretty quick. We only see very little of him as Shadowman 9. Which I think is fine. I didn't need too much of that.
I think it's totally fine. We didn't need to see him stumble through being a pretty bad henchman.
Yeah, no. Like we've already seen him be a pretty bad villain. Like, he just kind of fails his way into success, and that's kind of his shtick.
Yeah, exactly.
So I didn't need to see that as a henchman, too. Because, I mean...
Yeah, and Phantom Limb wasn't the only one he henched for.
No.
He also henched for a bunch of other ones, which are some of my favorite villain names.
Oh my God. When we get to the end of this episode, one of them is my number one moment. But the interesting thing about it is that this concept of the Monarch as a henchman has only very recently, I want to say like the most like recent rewatch before, obviously this season, is something I'm actually even okay with. Like I not okay with, but enjoy. Like for a long time I always liked the story of the Monarch being this, in somehow through his parents, wealthy villain who didn't really want to play by the guild's rules but realized he needed to if he wanted to do what he wanted to do. And the idea of him going through the proper channels at any point and even being a henchman just rubbed me the wrong way for the longest time.
Yeah,
interesting.
Because I just never bought it. Like, I never bought that he would ever compromise himself to being somebody's henchman. It just never felt like the Monarch to me. Which, granted, I mean, nobody starts where they want to be. Not everybody. I mean, some people are lucky enough to do that, but the majority of us have to start at the bottom and work our way up. I just always figured with a trust fund kid like the Monarch, he would have skipped all of those steps.
Yeah,
right.
Because we even have the backstory of him and the summer of the butterflies, where the butterflies took care of him, and he like has the crazy childhood thing. So the idea that he goes from that to I guess I can hench for these few crazy people, it never fully connected for me in a way that I was happy with. And then most recently, like the most recent rewatch, I'm like, yeah, I mean, it doesn't fully make sense, but at the same time, it's a really entertaining, like, meet cute for the Monarch and Dr. Girlfriend. And I think that nugget outweighs my minor nitpicks of everything else. Does that make sense?
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Because I think that, like, this season is probably where... Actually, I would say it's definitely where the modern Venture Brothers stuff ticks off. Like, I'd say from here on, there are very few problems with contrasting stories, right? Like,
with the exception of this one, yes.
Oh, yes. I think that it's more consistent from here on out, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Yes, there are problems. You're right. I forgot. But it's okay. This makes sense. I think that because of that, I forgot where I was going with this. I'm sorry. I lost my train of thought.
That's totally fine. Graham, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of see. I follow your train of thought, because it's like with the Monarch, it does seem kind of odd for him to do that, and you're kind of watching him, because it does seem kind of weird that, like, if he was in the henching world at all, he would be more in tune with the rules and regulations of what it really meant to be, to become a full arch, which is really what this whole episode is about, is like trying to see what the rules and regulations are when he actually started arching Dr. Venture and all of this. And so it does feel weird for us to learn that he was henching for not only Phantom Limb, but all these other people too. And maybe it was just for a week or whatever, because he was a pretty shitty henchman. But it doesn't, after watching it over and over, it doesn't irk me enough to where it's like, okay, well, maybe he was just one of those trust fund kids where it's like he did give, a week's worth of his time to try it out, and to see what it's all about, and then realize, oh yeah, fuck this, I just want to do this on my own. And so, but I totally agree. It's definitely a great meet cute. I don't know any other story or plot that would work better for him and Dr. Girlfriend to meet. I think this is great, and I think that his intention to become an arch, also to not only just to arch Dr. Venture, but also to kind of steal Dr. Girlfriend away from Phantom Limb, I think is wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, it irked me before. It was like, well, why? Yeah, why would he even hench? Because he's a trust fund kid. He has a lot of reason, and he has a lot of push to be his own thing. That why would he even consider it? But now after thinking about it for a while and after rewatching it a bunch of times, it doesn't bother me as much.
Yeah.
Well, they do explain the trust fund thing, though.
Where did they do that?
In this episode, when he's talking to 24, then who becomes Shadowman 9, and then back to 24. He's like, I'm only doing this until, I've got a trust fund coming in until it goes through escrow.
That's true.
So it does explain why he's kind of doing this for now until the money comes in, and then he can actually do what he wants to do.
Sure. Yeah. No, that's a good point. It still just I don't know. It just still never feels to me like he would be a henchman.
Yeah, I do agree with you, but
it's not enough to. I think we've given it more lip service than even the complaint deserves. But it was just it's one of the minor things that kind of bumped me.
No, and me too, because it's like, well, then why the fuck is he even doing it? And doing it like repeatedly, because it's like, I feel like if he was that close to understanding how to become a henchman and how to work as a henchman, that he would know the rules more of, and that he would be even aware of not OSI, but the Guild of Calamus of Descent. So I don't know.
Yeah. The other thing that we need to talk about, because much like they did, we promised that we'd answer the cliffhanger, and then we didn't. We just talked about it and then moved right along, just like the Venture Brothers. So the common idea is that what she confesses at the end of season 2 is that she applied for dual arch. So they would be equal arches as Dr. Mrs. the Monarch and the Monarch, which we don't learn her full name quite yet, but that is what they end up at. And that's why they go through the Crucible, and that's why all of this is happening, is because she wanted to be dual arch. Which, again, kind of, like, his reaction at the end of the episode is a little more like, I guess we're supposed to be taking it as, what? Why would you do that without me?
Yeah, I guess so. But I think you and I have the same read on this. That was going to be my complaint as well.
Yeah.
Is his reaction seems more incredulous, while it doesn't really feel like that should be the answer.
Yeah, like it's a
Yeah.
little bit of an overreaction to I want us to be partners, and you've already agreed to that, and we're already agreeing to not arch Dr. Venture. Like everything you've already agreed to has already been stated. I just took the rope and just already applied.
Yeah.
Like the reaction would be, "Oh, okay. When do we go in?"
Yeah, exactly.
Like, so I mean, it's fine, and the episode works because of it, like both thematically and story wise. It's just one of those things where because they didn't have this answer fully fleshed out when they wrote the end of season 2, they didn't know where on the meter to put his reaction. And when you have the Monarch, it's usually best just to err on the side of he overreacted.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, they do. They answer it, and I'll do air quotes, in the first line of this episode, but in such a way that you're like, wait, yeah, but you're not answering my question at all.
Exactly. So it's kind of...
With his quote of like, hey, remember yesterday? I think it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Remember yesterday when we were laying in bed and you told me that thing and you opened up your heart to us? This is the last thing that I expected you to say. And they're in a battle scene. And you're like, wait, what is happening?
Yeah, what did she say?
What?
Yeah. So,
But yeah.
it's fine. It's not anything that it doesn't upset me, and I think it answers it well enough where I'm not like, well, that was a waste of time. But it's still not anything that, like, it's not, like, when you go through the entirety of Venture Brothers and questions that you wanted answered that get answered, you can make a pretty solid argument that this is probably the least fulfilling of those answers.
Yeah. And because it's not even really that spelled out. It's just like when we were looking at, you're like, wait, yeah, oh, I mean, I guess they did cover it in the whole episode, but they never really blatantly said this is the answer.
Yeah.
This is just, they just continued talking, basically.
Yeah, super just like, okay. I mean, I guess, yeah, it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's about it, though. I think we should move into our new segment for Season 3, which is moments that made us laugh the hardest. So not quite like Season 1, which was our favorite moment, because that wasn't always necessarily funny moments. It usually is. It's a funny show. Or Season 2, which was favorite pop culture references. This time we're just going for the moment, or line, or whatever, that just made us go, ha 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 ha. Exactly like that. I could go first because I was the one who planned this, so I clearly had it locked and loaded. When they're going through all of the former villains that the Monarch had henched for, they nail one that just... it's just exactly what I wanted to hear. And they just say the name and they show the photo of Joseph and his amazing techno-colored nightmare coat.
And I like how his photo actually moves.
Oh, yeah.
The little fringe of his coat just moving
that
around.
is one character that they've said, and he's never come back, and I really wish he would.
Oh, man.
That's it for me, though.
So we're talking about the Crucible. And, going through all the footage, and I forgot what moment it is, but, oh, yeah, the Monarch was like, roll the tape of us in college, and the first time I ever made it with Dr. Like, how would we have footage of that? How would we have footage from that long ago? We're the Council of 13, not magic angel babies. Yeah, we don't have a magic window in the past or anything.
Just
the magic angel babies.
Nick?
Mine was actually, it's a background gag. So it's the magician or evil wizard curse that the Order of the Triad fights, and they make his legs disappear, and he comes back in the montage still without his legs. So that's pretty much it. I was watching it this morning, and I was like, wait, that is the guy. I was like, oh my god. And then I looked it up online, and it was like, yep, his name is Curse, and he still doesn't have his legs.
I also like that in that montage, the guy from the very first episode that asked Brok to take him with him is there. He's helping out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Take me with you. But that's it for the first episode of Season 3. Next week's episode, I am super excited to talk about. The Doctor is Sin.
Ooh,
Arguably one of my favorite episodes of the entire series. Not my favorite. I have to qualify for John, who does our SEO, who's like, you say every episode's your favorite episode.
Well, it is.
The next one is it's a great one. So I am very excited to talk about it. Very excited to talk about the entirety of season 3. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. This season has a lot in it.
And there's a lot to chew on, and it's not all great stuff, which is actually kind of excited to talk about. Like, when I say I like experiments that don't work out, there's a few of those in this season, and I can't wait to get to all of them.
Me too.
So, all right, thank you everybody for listening. We will see you again next week with The Doctor is Sin, and have a good week. Bye. Bye.
This is not a torture, Mr. Monarch.
It is an interrogation.
Or a trial of sorts.
I always say it's a crucible.
Oh, that's way cooler.